Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament. I'm reading 1 Corinthians and up to chapter 3. And the heading here is the fellow workman for God. One might also describe this as the hindrance to spiritual progress in the early part, and then moving on to the work of Paul and Apollos. So cargo adelphoi uk eidunethen laleisai humin hos pneumatikois al hos sakinois hos nepiois en Christo gala hemas epotisa ubroma upoga e duneste al ude eti non duneste etiga sa kikoi este. I might just pause it there. It goes to a new page. So as we've seen before, cargo is crasis for kai and ego. So and I, brethren. Now this is the past tense of dunamai, and it's got a funny beginning of a funny augment here. It looks like a passive, aorist passive, but it's got a funny augment, like a double augment almost. It's an irregularity for this verb. So I was not able. So and I, brethren, I was not able, lalaisai, aorist infinitive, to speak to you as to spiritual men, but as to fleshly men, so men in the flesh perhaps. And then continues on with hos with the dative, as to nepiois, often translated as babes in Christ. The word here is very common, it's a very old word, goes back, it's in Homer. It's a ne plus that epos root. So one who is unable to speak is a little baby who is still learning how to talk. So that's the word, but the word itself, just by this stage, it just simply means babies, babes in Christ. Gala humas epotisa. Now, the verb is potisdo. It can be used of giving things to children, that's true. The verb means to give something to someone to drink. The pot is connected with, you see the same root in poterion, a cup, and it ultimately is connected with pino, to drink. So it's potisdo, to give, so it's to give, I gave gala, milk, to you. So gala is neuter, third declension noun. So I gave milk to you. Ubroma, not, well, perhaps solid food, it's often translated as. It's connected with the verb bibrosko, which is a reduplicated present. If you strip all the bi at the beginning, you get the bro root, and from that you form this neuter third declension noun, broma, meaning solid food. Bibrosko means to eat, and hence broma means food or solid food. It's often translated. It's cognate with our word bromine, because bromine is able to eat, in inverted commas, glass, and so hence the name bromine given to that gas. So I gave milk to you, not solid food, upaga edunas there, for not yet were you able. Just the imperfect really from dunamai. But not still now, not even now are you able. For este, second person plural, you are still sarkikoi. You are still in the flesh. This is just an adjective, sarkikos, connected with the noun sarkos, third declension, meaning flesh. You are still fleshy, literally. Hopuga en humin tselos kai eris ukisakikoi este. For hopu, wherever, understand there is, among you, tselos kai eris. Now, eris is a word for strife, and there's variant readings here. Tselos is jealousy. So wherever there is among you jealousy and strife, and this is a question coming up, are you not fleshly? Are you not in the flesh? And the kai kata anthropon peripatete. And do you not walk? Kata anthropon is just an idiom in a human way, in a court, like ordinary man, so in a human way. Peripatio is the verb here, and this is a Septuagintalism really. Peripatio means to walk around. It's used in the Septuagint to translate the Hebrew halach, which is a word meaning to walk, but it's used metaphorically in the sense to conduct yourself, to live your life. And so this is very common in the New Testament, this use of peripatio in that Hebraic sense. So do you not, and conduct yourself in a human way. Hotan gar legaitis, so hot, it's as hote plus an, and subjunctive. Hotan gar legaitis, ego men, Amy Paulu, heteros de ego Apollo, uk anthropoieste, ti un estin Apollos, ti de estin Paulos, diakonoi dihon epistiusate kai hekasto hos hokurios edoken. Ego effutusa Apollos epotisen alahothios uxa exanen. Hosti ute ho futuon estiti, uti ho potisdon ala ho oxanon. Theos. Ho futuon de ho potisdon hen asin, hekastos de ton idion misthon, lampsatai, kata to idion kopon. Theou ga esmen sun ergoi, theou georgion, theou oikodome este. So this is the section now on the work of Paul and Apollos. For whenever someone might say, I am of Apollos, that is, I belong to, to Paul, I belong to Paul, and another one, understand, might say, I belong to Apollos, and are you not anthropoi, are you not being, well, it's men. It's picking up this in a human way, so are you not being human? Unfortunately, we know very, very little about this Apollos. It's a great shame we don't know a lot more about him. I think he would be a very interesting character to know about, and his connections with Paul and his relationship with Paul and his background and so on. It's been suggested that Apollos may have been one of many names put forward, but may have been the author of Hebrews. In any case, he obviously has had some connection here with the Church at Corinth. So, tiun estin Apollos. So, what then is Apollos? Tide estin Paulos. And what is Paul? Diakonoi, servants, dihon, through whom, epistiusate, you have believed. So it's an aorist here from pistuo. Kai hekasto hos hokurios edoken. A slightly funny phrase here. It's as even as God gave hekasto to each one. That means each one of us, himself and Apollos. So it's almost just as God gave this work to each of us, but it's rather cryptic and idiomatic here. Ego futusa, this is from futuo, to plant. So I planted, and Apollos epotisen, this is the aorist from potisdo that we had before, he watered, and here it's intransitive. Before we had the verb in a transitive use, this is an intransitive sense, it just watered. But God, exanen, this is from auxano, there's the participle on the next line, if you're looking it up, it's alpha upsilon. It means to increase. It's cognate with our word augment. So that God gave, increased, gave growth. Hosti ute, so that neither the one planting est in tit is anything, nor the one watering, but God, the one giving increase, giving growth. So we have a metaphor here from planting plants and things. Hofutuon, the one planting and the one watering, they are hen, they are one. It's a neuter here. Again, you need to look at the commentaries here. They are one thing, perhaps. They are one. Heteros de, but each one. Lampsatai, this is the future from lambano. Now in classical Greek it would be lapsatai without the mu, but in later Greek you'll get both forms coming with lampsamai and lapsamai without the mu. The mu was an original infix in lambano. The stem is lab. That mu was a nasal infix that certain verbs in Greek put into the present tense, such as manthano, but the root is math. So you get these nasal infixes in the present in certain verbs. Lanthano is another one. It's just an Indo-European feature. You'll see the same thing in certain verbs in Sanskrit. So each one will receive his own reward. So use of idion. His own reward according to his own labour. So idios means one's own in Greek. Theouga, for we are, this is the first person plural from the verb to be, esmen, for we are sun ergoi, fellow workers of God. Ge or geon, the cultivated field of God, and you are the oikodome, the building of God. And I'm going to just pause here and we'll finish this in the next recording.